Welcome to Deep Thought, functional mental illness. Now, what is functional mental illness? Understand something. Mental illness is big out here. Mental health is big, big, big. And because for all the physical ailments that people go through, I don't think there's enough attention given to mental health issues. And a lot of people have something, right? But what you have is people, they'll have some mental health issues, like some serious mental health issues, but they have what I would call functional mental illness, meaning they're in a position, even though they have this mental illness, they can still have a regular job. They can still work, they can still pay their own bills or something. They can still drive a car. They're not really in a place where they really debilitated to perform in everyday functions, right? And indeed, if you look at something like, I'll give you something, the Americans with Disabilities Act. The big thing with that is someone who has some type of disability. It could be a mental one, it could be a physical one. As long as they can perform a particular job, they can't be discriminated against. Indeed, there have been many businesses, companies that have had to accommodate these folks. As long as they can do the job, that's the whole key. If they can work, they can do it. So you have, and one thing with the Americans with Disabilities Act, disabled Americans, I remember this was said when I'll just say I was working in that area in the 90s. One of the things it was said that that's the one minority that anyone can join. Anyone can join. So it's a major thing. And it's a bigger thing. And those disabilities, of course, can be mental, but they can be physical and all of that. And mainly physical. Somebody could be a very healthy person, get in an accident and be paralyzed from, the waist down. But as long as they can still work or do something, can't be discriminated against. That's very important. As long as the job don't require them to use their legs, they can still maybe get a job or whatever the disability is. If they can still perform the work, they can still do it, right? They can't be rejected just because of that. Now, that's especially the case with mental illness. As long as that person's mental illness doesn't interfere with them performing the work, they can still work on that job. They can't, and only issue, as long as they ain't in a position where, some other stuff like just interfering with or being, obnoxious to coworkers or something like that. But then that don't have nothing to do with mental illness, right? But the thing is, when I say functional, it means, yes, they can get a job, but also they can take care of themselves and everything. Now, I got into the more legal aspect of it, but let's think about it on a practical level. Let's be real. There's a lot of people out here who are saying and doing things and expressing opinions, but it's colored by their mental illness. It's colored by it, right? And the thing is, we have to take that in consideration when they say things, when they do things, and all of that. Always have to be taken into consideration. You got to say, okay, how's this affecting it? Like, I've always wanted to do something on mental health and male-female relationships, but I'm not a professional in that area. And at this point, I haven't found a professional to work with or to interview about that. But mental health does affect relationships. The only reason I haven't spoke on it because I am not a qualified professional. All I could do is say what I've noticed, what I've seen. If someone's suffering depression, that can definitely affect how they respond to someone, or anxiety that can respond, or schizophrenia. That can definitely affect how they respond, who they choose, and everything. It could be, it could really affect how they view reality. See, they have different categories of mental illnesses, right? But one whose mental illness prevents them from seeing basic reality, that could be a real issue. And I'm gonna get more into the reality one tomorrow, which may or may not be connected with mental illness. But the thing is, it could cause a problem. It could cause, it could affect how they make decisions and everything. And honestly, it could be harmful to them if they make decisions that constantly cause them some issues. And it's something that, and look, I'm gonna just be real. I'm bringing it up because it has to be taken into consideration. I mean, I really think, and I would even advocate that more attention be paid to mental health. More attention, you know, be paid towards it because it's affecting a lot. No telling what's it affecting on so many levels. No telling what. How many lives have been affected maybe by a loan officer going through something or something. Or somebody who's in a position of authority who can make a decision and they dealing with some type of mental illness or something that's messing with them. This is very important, seriously. But they function enough to get the basics of the job done, you know. Or, somebody, or honestly, you can see it sometimes on with social media now because it doesn't prevent anybody from saying anything or doing anything. But say if that person is dealing with some mental illness, but they're not sharing it with people, but maybe they develop a big following and start influencing people on social media. But see, the thing about it is, if somebody's not functioning well mentally, and they influence other people, that can be a real problem. Indeed, I remember reading something about sometimes you have like cult leaders who might be suffering something, but they influencing other people. It's something. It's something. And I've said that to a lot. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised people going through something, but they not mentally all there. And like I said, it really, and just to say mental health, it means they're thinking okay. You know, that's it. That's it. You know, but the functional mental illness rather, like I said, they can look like they got everything going on. But it's very important to take into consideration. So that's all I have for that. Just something to think about. And I would suggest anyone listening, if you recognize that you have some mental health issues, I strongly recommend therapy. Indeed, I've had some people hit me up for maybe consultations or something, and they'll talk a bit, and I'll say, you know what, I can't be the one. You really need to talk to a professional therapist about it. Seriously, you really need to. A lot of people need it. Someone to talk to, even if it's not a professional therapist, maybe a spiritual leader or something like that, at the minimum. But people have it, and then some people might have some stuff that might actually be more chemical in origin or something. They really need to deal with it. So I want y'all to think about that. And like I said, if you feel like you're in that position, please get the help that you need. All right? So I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace and blessings.